Good morning, students, and welcome to MCS 7104 Computer Application in Research, presented by Dr. Chukwuemeka. This course is focused on applications of computer in research. Now, I'm going to present to you today Unit 1, which is on element of research. Now, under element of research, I'm going to look at scientific process and definition, a brief history of scientific process, introduction to research methodology, method of research, objective of research, type of research, sequence of research, and then I'm going to finally look at problem encountered by researchers in Uganda. Introduction. Computers are indispensable tool that researchers deploy in every stages of their research. Now, there are so many benefits that one can get if we use computer in various stages of our research. Now, those benefits are as follows. One, speed and efficiency. Now, processing large amount of data, that is where speed and efficiency comes into play. With the computer, you can process large amount of data within just a small time. Then the other benefit of using computer in research is the area of documentation. Now, when you use computer in research, then you can document an entire research workflow. Then the other area is collaboration and sharing. Now, with the usage of computer, it is easy for researchers to collaborate everywhere in the world. Scalability and flexibility. With the usage of computer, a computer can handle varieties of data at any given time. Data handling and storage. With a computer, you can store data for future purposes. Data cleaning and preparation. That is the important aspect of data transition process, where you are expected to clean data and prepare it for other forms of data processing system. So this computer can help us as researchers to do data transformation. Data exploration and visualization. With computer, we can interact. We have interactive ways to visualize data. Mobility. Now, with the ability of the computer, research can be done anywhere, at home, on the road, anywhere at any given time. Consistent and reliable. With the computer, we have reliable tools that one can deploy in research. Now, the next thing we have to look at is what um, what exactly is a scientific process. Now, by that meaning, if you look at the word scientific process, scientific means a lot of scientific process means a lot of things. But however, a scientific process is the dynamic and open-ended process that scientists use when they investigate a question they have. Now, we can also look at it as um, a process of objectively establishing facts through testing and experimentation. So that is what scientific process is trying to look at. Now, and that scientific process starts from observation, hypothesis, experiment, results, and then we have a kind of look back. If the result is incorrect, you have a look back. It keeps on going back until you're able to establish a scientific theory. Now, what is research? Now, research can be seen or defined in diverse ways because people view research in so many ways. But however, a simple definition is that a research or a research is a systematic investigation into the study of materials and sources to establish facts and reach a new conclusion. Now, we can also define research as a systematic inquiry to describe, explain, predict, and control an observed phenomenon. Now, we can also look at it as creative and systematic work undertaken to increase stock of knowledge. So you see that research is an investigation in order to establish fact and to reach a new conclusion. Now, having said that, now there is one important aspect of research that is very important we know about, which is the area of objective of research. Now, we cannot embark on any research without establishing what are the objective of research. Now, objective for research are concise statements that describe what the research is aiming to achieve. Research objective is defined as a clear and concise statement of specific goals and aims of a research study. So when you want to embark on any research, you must have set objective, what you wish to accomplish in that research. That will guide you so that you know your boundaries and know what you are expected to do. Now, research objectives are specific, measurable, and is intended to be achievable. So the next thing we have to look at is what do you do when you want to write a research? Now, as a researcher, it is important to write your research objective in a smart format. Now, what do you mean by smart format? Now, the S here stands for specific, M stands for measurable, A stands for achievable, R stands for relevant, and then T stands for time based. What does it mean? Now, what it means that when you're writing your objective should be specific, it should be focused, avoid confusion, it shouldn't be ambiguous. Just go straight to what you want to do. Then measurable. For every research objective, there should be a corresponding result. So that at the end of the day, you say, look at what I set out in my objective, then look at my result. So for every objective, there must be a corresponding result. Then also achievable. You cannot embark on any research that you cannot conclude. So at the beginning of any research, you have to make sure that look at resources, human and money, and ensure that this research you want to venture into, that at the end of the day, you are going to complete it. Then two, relevant. You cannot conduct a research that is not relevant to the society because research is expected to solve a problem in the society. So look at how that research is relevant to the society. Then time based. Every research must have a time. Look at it and then appropriate a time for that research. Now, why are research the objective important? Now, research objectives helps you as a researcher to stay focused and stay your research in the required direction. A good research objective defines scope of the study, give direction to the research, helps maintain focus and avoid diversion from topic, minimize waste of resources like time, money, and energy. Okay. Then also, there are steps in research process. Research process consists of a series of actions necessary to carry out the research work effectively. Now, there are steps in which you have to follow to conclude a research. Now, first of all, you start by formulating a research problem. You cannot conduct any research without a problem because research is supposed to be to solve a problem in one area of human endeavor. So you formulate the problem. From there, then you can now move on into other things. And then the next second stage is you have to do extensive literature review. Literature review is when you gather facts and figures of an already existing data in that research area you want to study because it will aid you to be able to present, to be able to establish a gap, know why you want to venture into the research. Then with that, you proceed to into what you call development of hypothesis, and then prepare your research design, which will guide you in the conduct of your research. Determine your sample design, data. Then you go ahead with data collection, project discussion, data analysis, and the hypothesis testing and then interpretation. And the final step of any research process, what we call data presentation. Because when you conclude a research and you have results, there's no way you can communicate to people what you have done, except if you put it in a report, which is intended to communicate to other people. Let them look at what you have done and then know that, look, this research has added value into the system. Next is there are five major phases of a research process. Conceptual phase, which involves the formation of research problem, extending research review, and theoretical framework and development of hypothesis. Then you move over to design phase, where you have to decide the population size, questionnaire design, and then design of the data collection method. Then eventually you now move on to data collection, where you expect to use some tools to collect data for analysis. And then finally, you move to the data analysis where you are going to use also some computing tools to analyze data and be able to harvest insight into what data is going to talk about. And then move on to research communication field where you have to make the result of that of that endeavor, research endeavor, public so that other people can have access to it. The next thing we're about to talk about is type of research. There are so many type of researches that one can always embark on. Starting from applied research, casual, quantitative, descriptive, experimental survey, qualitative, experimental, up to comparative research. These are research, the type of research that one can embark on. But for us researchers, there are ones that are most common. You have applied research, which is a scientific study that seeks to solve various practical problems in day-to-day life. It finds answers or solutions to everyday problems, cure illness, and so on and so forth. So this is the one that we encounter every day. Then also we have basic research, which is called fundamental or pure research. It expands person's knowledge. For instance, how did it start? And you have correlational result, which seeks to find a relationship among two or more variables without necessarily determining the cause and effect. For instance, correlation between obesity and diabetes mellitus. We also have other type of common research type of research like quantitative or statistical research, experimental research, quantitative or qualitative research. Then, what are the significance of a research? Now, a research helps you build knowledge and promotes learning. It helps to increase public awareness. Research promotes success in business and other fields. It encourages the disapproval of lies and support facts and truth. Research is a means of discovering opportunity and helps to build credibility. It promotes confidence and passion in reading, sharing information, and analyzing it helps exercise the mind. For instance, if there is something that a fact you need to establish or something that is false that you need to establish, you have to conduct research. Research can aid you to establish that fact or to disapprove if that fact is wrong. Then, what are the problems encountered by researchers? And now, there are so many problems encountered by researchers in Uganda, which is one of the developing countries in the world. Now, one is insufficient data. When you don't have enough data to do research, becomes a challenging thing. Then time management is a problem now in Uganda. People don't know how to manage time in researches. Then evaluating huge amount of information becomes a very big problem because we don't have the tools to evaluate this huge amount of data. It becomes a problem for us to carry out our researches. Then active networking and collaboration. This is a very disturbing aspect of research in Africa. We don't have all it takes to collaborate with other people in different clients to do researches. Then also not having definite deadline, time. Every research is time bound. So when we don't have deadline and such, it becomes a problem. That lack of scientific training, yes, because some of us we don't know how to utilize most recent scientific tools. It becomes a challenge when we want to conduct a research. Then lack of communication with your supervisor. Now every researcher have a supervisor or mentor, and when we don't have them and when we don't communicate with them, it becomes a challenge. We don't know where to move from where to where. Library is a place you have to harvest data, but it becomes challenging because most of them don't even know the road to the library. It becomes a very big challenge. Difficulty in getting grant. Fine, grant or money is what you need to execute researches. And most of the times, we don't have funds here in developing countries like Uganda to execute most researches. And when we want to access grant, it becomes a challenge. We don't know how to go about it. It becomes a challenge. Now, another problem is successful publishing in impactful journal. Now, if you want to publish an impactful journal, you have to, even if though you have a quality research, you have results. But if you don't have money to publish in the quality result, it becomes a problem. Because most of these journals they charge 1,000 to 1,500, $2,000 just for one publication. It becomes challenging. How can you pay such an amount of money looking at the African countries, developing countries we are coming from? Then some of us we don't know, we don't stay abreast of technological development. Today we talk about artificial intelligence using research of chatbot, ChatGPT using research, but most of us in developing countries, especially in Uganda, we don't even know about it. How do we use such new technologies in researches? It becomes a problem. Now, what of protecting our intellectual property? You develop a research this thing, and then you need to patent it, protect it, so that people will not copy your this thing. It becomes a problem when we don't know how to do it. Balancing work and life. How can we achieve success without balancing research and life? It becomes a problem. Lack of mentors. Mentors, we don't see them. So we have to look at all these things when you talk about problems like Kata, in Uganda. Thank you very much for this topic. So you can always reach me through my email so that we can also further our discussion. Thank you.